Underdog Podcast. It's your host T Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter and tear like a Reese.
He's gonna persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's the underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believed in life. I took so many risks to make this thing happen, you know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
We're the bangers. For the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off, we sick it down, get read.
Yo, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to the Underdogs Podcast, second show of the morning, season 5, episode 24, Sound Wizard, featuring MDs on rappers, singers, songwriter, and audio engineer. We got T Witz. Before we bring him in, we got to let you know what's going on, man. Real talk.
T Witz.
When good men go evil, they do not get a sequel. Some feel it early but don't get a preview. There is no misfire when everybody dies and love is lost in the fire that you described your whole life. But ain't nobody listen. You got bodies, now everybody listening. You were the one before the petty ones dismissed. Now your metaphors, even scores, and somehow you now on the list. And every woman you ever wanted fulfilled your wish. And you was into love till so many brought you the ways of the witch. You not into love when a rodeo taught you ways of the whip. Conspiracies, calling me off the late you in dire need. Off the Henny glasses of Grigio as you cry for me. Hiding from a hater who hate me cause you still die for me. You still ride for me but was numbing me. Numbers on my focus now. Had to lead the state and I didn't go just to boast or post on the gram for crowds who could not give two shits about their own life. So what I look like stopping my life cause your man's a child. Been 3 years in official business, the tribe in green. Almost out of debt from investing in friends and fiends. Almost no regrets, I try and accept what this means. If I could go back, I'd probably build me a time machine. But who's to say what it is that I wouldn't fuck up? Disregarding if I had utilized luck up. No rabbit hole, slow and steady always wins the race. Adjusting Ray-Bans and a plan I'm mapped up in J. I do this to build and create, no it's not to get paid. To do it for money's a plan that will fail to sustain. The crew is becoming antidote to all my pain. KB Michaels, DJ Pony, Cheetah flow the same. Low-key Drizzy, never sissy with the light work. Ill stop for Papa Doc, you never had to claim a set for fame. Tribe trendsetters, link with acumen, brothers since grades. Unusual mumbling took over, no longer the wave. The syndicate humbling and artifacts shine on the stage. The question is cryptic, the message engraved like a grave. Better pray to your Baba and bestie who win the way. And I don't say what I say to take back just what I say. If God forgives, then I do my best when they try and betray. Lord only knows what my life's become due to all his grace. When good men go evil, they do not get a sequel. Some feel it early but don't get a preview. There is no misfire when everybody dies.
Right, we gotta let it play all the way through.
When good men go evil, they do not get a sequel. Some feel it early but don't get a preview. There is no misfire when everybody dies. When everybody dies.
Hey, T Witz out right now on YouTube, and everybody died. We gotta let that play all the way through, man. Hey, man, let's bring him in right now. What's going on, brother? Hey,
How's it going, man?
I usually give a preview and tell people, man, y'all go make sure y'all look them up, But I was like, yeah, you gotta let that play through. You can't stop. You can't pause that, man. You gotta let that just play through.
That's
But how you
love. I
doing,
really
brother?
appreciate it. I'm excellent. How you doing yourself, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Just glad to be still in motion, having motion, and just doing what I do, man. Bridging the gap. Keep planting the
Real talk,
seed.
man. Keep
Facts.
planting seeds. Yes, that's one of my big sayings. Gotta keep planting seeds, man. That's
Facts,
so important.
man. Yeah, it's like, when you plant seeds, it's always growth. Even if a branch or anything break off, a new one, emerges. So it's like,
There's a
got to.
saying. I don't think it was Nietzsche that said it. But the man who plants seeds, knowing he'll never sit in the shade, has begun to understand the meaning of life. That I forget where I read that, but it stuck with me, and I live by that. So that's a great way to open, my brother. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man. It's an honor to have you on the show today. Just by way of networking. Just by way of networking, having like minds, man. Here we are today,
Big facts. Big facts.
First and foremost, as we push the importance of knowing ourselves, who is T Witz outside of the multi-faceted creative, what vibe do you fill the room with?
You are too humble, my guy. I like first and foremost, I'm a vessel, and I'm proud to be a vessel. Being a vessel is extremely powerful. Moses was a vessel. Jesus was a vessel. Joseph was a vessel. And I don't mean to take it all biblical, but the truth is, when you allow yourself to be worked through and you understand and appreciate the power of being utilized, I enjoy being used because I don't allow people to use me for inappropriate things, for things that damage the world. I allow myself to be used to help people and to be an inspiration for people to thrive. So T Witz is a vessel, man. And he's a symbol because Batman said it best. People don't listen to guys. They don't listen to other people. They listen to examples. And my late brother Terrence, God rest his soul, he dubbed me T Witz. My name is Talmadge Whitaker Jr. And Talmadge Whitaker Jr. Either way works. Name's Old New English, and there's multiple pronunciations for it. And throughout my life, I never liked my name, but when I got older and I recognized and did some research on the name, it brought me a lot of self-empowerment. So T Witz is a vessel. He helps people to be inspired through example, and at the end of the day, he's leaving a legacy that can be followed and continued. So that's what T Witz is.
Oh, that's deep, man. Like how you said, like how we started off, planting the seed is like, pouring your good energy into people being useful, Like I would rather be used to, if it's building connections, bringing people together, uniting people, any ways we can, because it's like we all roll off each other in a sense, because it's like whether you're entrepreneur, artist, or whatever, one, you're giving a piece of yourself to people as is your brand is yourself, because it's like, all right, I might be the Underdogs podcast, the platform, but the brand itself is me. I'm giving myself to people, So it's like when they look at the brand or they look at the artistry, they're gonna look at that and say, okay, that's what they stand for, So it's almost like a first impression type of thing, You might not know me as a person, but when you know the platform and you see what I'm doing, that kind of like me pouring myself into the platform. Like, I don't know if it kind of makes sense, but like,
No, you nailed, bro. You already dropping gems, bro. Like, I can correlate already with so much. It's dope that you have allowed me on your platform, man. When it comes to that word branding, I make it a mission to teach artists how important it is to recognize that you're a walking, talking business. And people think of a business as a brick and mortar building. Post COVID-19, we should all know that a business is paperwork. It is documentation. That's it. It's an EIN number. You might have an address, but your address could be from home, and it's really just a place for mail to be sent to, documents to be sent to and from. As far as a brick and mortar spot, a place that you actually have to sell product from. Due to the internet, people are really learning that what business really is, and it's an exchange of goods and services. It's a system where if I have something and you have something and we need it from each other, we can make it happen somewhere in the middle. And we can do that consistently to feed our families, our friends, whatever means we want to invest into. And when an artist looks at themselves as a brand, they start to recognize that attitude matters, investment matters, being consistent matters. Actually having a product that people can consume and want to consume matters. You know how many artists I ask, because I am an audio engineer, I do work with artists and help them record their music. And I'll say, you know, why should I listen to your music? Because they'll be like, yo, check out this track. And I'll be like, tell me why. And I don't do it to be an asshole. I do it to get people to understand how important it is that you have to be presenting something of value. And something that's valuable to you might not be valuable to somebody else. Make it valuable to other people. Find out if people even want your music. Do you have a fan base? Do you know who your fan base potentially is? And when you start asking these questions, you find the people that you want to work with, that you would rather not work with, that you could potentially grow with, if that makes any sense, my brother. So that word branding, that walking, talking business that is an artist, T Witz makes it a mission to push that narrative. That business is why an artist, understanding your business is why an artist doesn't necessarily have to sign to a record deal these days. And I don't demonize record deals. I think that if the situation works for you, cool. Have leverage in the situation, understand what you're signing. But we got to stop this complaining about record deals being demons and taking all of our money when we sign a contract and have millions of examples of other brands, you know what I mean, that did it so we don't have to. So,
right. I mean,
facts,
man. I mean, when you thinking about, record deals, when we was using CDs and everything like that, so it's like you hear the horror stories and they tell you we didn't read the contracts, we didn't do this, but like the fact is they signed it, so it's like years later, 20 years, 25, you would think they would have millions of these records, and then they come out with the story like we didn't know we were signing and we just signed real. That's the only way you can end up in that situation, really, is if you.
No, continue, brother. I'm gonna try to cut you.
Oh no, you good. That's how I feel like, it's just accountability. Like as soon as you sign it, it sounds good, but I mean, you end up in that situation.
I've been at this about 15 years.
Yeah.
As far as doing this like officially, like straight out of high school. And once you recognize that I mean, this is pretty fascinating to learn for real. Once you understand that a label is kind of like a glorified loan company. I personally started to recognize that I wanted to be able to approach a record label and to be able to say, I'm not signing unless I have this, and this. That's important because that gives you leverage. And when you go into a bank, you want to have a house that you can put up potentially. You want to have some assets because those give you leverage. Why would you go to a bank and say, yo, can you loan me $50,000? And the truth is, signing to a label, personally, someone like me, I wouldn't need a loan. I wouldn't need the advance because I have a facility in which I own that I record music out of, and I'm partnered with a whole team of people that have multiple facilities that I record music out of. Artist development is done there. It's called the Artist Development Center, and we're located in Maryland. We have a very discreet way of going about doing business with people because we don't want everybody to just have access or think that they have access. We want people to know that it takes investment, that you got to come with an understanding of music business. And if you don't, be open to learning about it. You know what I'm saying? So when I've been approached by labels in the past. I literally flew a label owner out one time. And when you learn the horror stories about what they go through as label owners, the images that they put on to attract a certain type of artist, you just start to understand that it's all business. And people do business in different ways based on what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to gain. What are you trying to gain? Do you want to end up at a Diddy party? If you're at a Diddy party, do you want to do something strange for a piece of change, for a shot at fame? Or do you want to just be in the room with a bunch of creatives who can help you make the hottest song possible and want nothing else from them besides that? So when y'all all collaborate, you're inspired by each other. You put up a budget plan so that you can market and promote your music together. And then when you do take off together, you can take that money because you sold a gold album or a gold single and you can flip it now and then go on tour. Brother, I can't say too much because, I can't give too much.
Nah, that's free. That's free. That's free gems right there. You know, that's the commercial. If you want anything else, you gotta go at T Witz on Instagram to get some more of that. That's all. That's all you get.
It's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love. I do my best
man,
to,
I feel it.
Spread you guys spread the wealth. But what do they say? The game is sold, not told, and that's for a reason. It's because you got to make sure, like what I say, you got to make sure people value things. You can't be just giving stuff away, because how many things are left on the curb that because people don't value, they just will never pick it up.
That's big, bro. Like you got to give it to the people that deserve it. Like that's really not just give it in. Yeah. That's facts.
And check this out, my brother. There's so much information out here that it's hard to find certain information. This team I'm with now, I've been looking for them my whole life, bro. And I didn't know it. They didn't know it. But when we crossed paths for the first time, we was locked in. And that was recently. And when I say that the game is sold, not told, it took a long time for me to understand it. I used to be like, why do people just not give information away?
Right.
Jesus Christ himself did not even just give information away. He held gatherings, and the people that came and who wanted to appreciate his information, they got it. He didn't just scream all over the place, yo, we got to eat better, and we need to have gardens, and you can feed a whole village by teaching everyone how to fish properly. He didn't do that. He made sure that he led by example. He built, he created, he grew, he learned, and people were like, yo, look at him over there. Yo, you see him? What's he doing? Yo, what is he doing? He's over there feeding people. Like, come on, let's go see how he's doing it over there, because we've been hungry, and it's been a famine and we can't find no food. The person who's going like this on the side of the road, people don't pull over for that person. They pull over for the person who's already pushing their own car.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
So that's what got me into this. I went to studios. I would pay money. I've never had a problem investing. I've had a job since I was 14 years old. Shout out Dream Home Remodeling. Shout out Home Fix. Even though Rick, you were an asshole, but at the end of the day, I've always held a job. I teach artists. If you need a job, I will help you get one. If you want an opportunity to make money, help me find more clients for my studio. This way, you can now fund your dream, and now you are paying for the knowledge, you're paying for the mixing, you're paying for the mastering, you're paying for the accolades and for the opportunities so that you appreciate them. We live in a world today where everybody wants to be handed something, and that's just not how it works.
Yeah. Like overnight, like literally like a FedEx overnight. Like I just do this one time. I never did in my life. Go on TikTok. Let me learn this today. I'm gonna be a millionaire tomorrow. Like,
bro, they try to do what you do. They try to build platforms that reach people, and they don't have anything to say. They haven't experienced anything to be able to share with people. And you know why? It's because people like you and I, we make it look easy, my brother. We make it look easy because we pop up with a smile every day. You're not on your platform like, T Witz, we finally got someone like you to be on our. You've been doing this. I'm honored to be here. You consistently put people on your platform, and people see that and they go, yeah, let me go start a YouTube channel real quick. And then they look around and realize, damn, I ain't got nobody of value around me. So even if you're inspiring people in that kind of way, brother, you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my job, because when I make this music, whether I got 40 Spotify listeners or 400,000, someone is listening and they're saying, yo, he's starting from somewhere, and all I gotta do is upload music and I can have 40 people listening to me monthly. No one listens to me now. It's perspective, bro. It's scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's big. When you say perspective, that's the whole thing right there, man. Because it's like the breakdown of this whole, like I say, the whole situation. Like when you're telling these stories and you talk about, like, give the breakdown, like not like a 2-minute clip of you get the ins and outs of what it took to get here to do this. Like you're actually getting a whole session where you're getting information. You're getting a lot of information from a person's perspective and from them to get where they are at in life. But for them to get to where they're at, hey, you got a roller coaster ride. We all been on a roller coaster, ups and downs. But it's the fact that where you currently are, where you started from, is not where you started from, is where you're currently at. So when a person see an interview like this or any other interviews we had, it's about the end goal, the end result, where you're at now. you know, nobody really gets the whole background story or anything like that. Or for instance, like people get their flowers given to them at the same time too. It's kind of like it's a revolving door, man. Like I say, we give flowers, appreciation. The information you give goes to the person that, you know, they might be on the same journey or need some type of knowledge to gain. They take that and it's progress, you know.
Fam, I know we all saw The Lion King. I know most people, especially if you in hip hop, you saw The Lion King. I don't know, just something about a good classic Disney movie. Everybody has referenced Mufasa or some type of, you know, strong lion. You saw The Lion King. What does Mufasa teach? There's two things in that movie that I think a lot of people should take away. One, Mufasa teaches his son about the circle of life. I could never get myself to say to myself, I don't think that antelope really wants to be there for his son's birth. But it's like, no, even the antelope and all the animals respect the circle of life. They may not want to be eaten, but they know they got to eat. So with that justification, that circle of life theory moves into everything. It's each one teach one, plant the seed, because through time, that seed's going to grow into a strong oak. And then you can potentially sit under that oak. You can chop down that oak to have timber. You can start a fire. You can eat from it, from the fruit. If we're not planting seeds and teaching other people to plant seeds, if every artist is making a song about murking their ops, if every artist is making songs about how they just want to tear down everything around them, nothing about building up. How you going to make a song where you say you want to get rich? Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone's rich. They're rich already.
Right.
On the block still, murking people, and then talking about how your family is good. Your family's very, very unsafe. And then when your family gets hurt, when siblings get hurt, when people get touched, we keep crying about it and saying rip, 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 and it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
We have to gain an appreciation for life again.
Yeah.
And we got to show it through the music.
Yeah, facts. Platforms. Oh man, like that's why I'm like, you know, we can help like change the narrative, you know, just keep adding the amount of people. It's not even about the money, man. It's more about the purpose and the intention of what what we're doing over here, you know. So it's like, you know, you got a lot of people that just live for monetary gain. That's the wrong mentality if you want to step in something. Well, I ain't gonna say it's wrong because you knew when you went into it, you want to get some money. But I mean, it's like you're skipping the process though. Like, because when I don't know, it's kind of like you running yourself dry on the sense that you in it for money. You know what money, if money is controlling you for everything you do in life, I don't know.
Bro, you be hitting some real points because when you say stuff, bro, I just want to expound on it. Listen to what you just said. You said that in hip hop, what do we teach? We teach artists got to learn this word, perpetuity. Anyone watching this and you're an artist and you're aspiring, the word perpetuity is derived from the word perpetual. That means ongoing. When you sign a contract, if that word perpetuity is in there, you really focus on that because that means ongoing as long as it says. It could mean forever. So I say that because when you perpetuate these stereotypes, when you perpetuate a certain mentality, you are keeping it ongoing. And I got a theory. I do not believe that even half of these artists that talk about the killing that they do actually want to be involved in it. I think that they're so used to it. They're so used to seeing it and hearing it and being a part of it that they're just like, there is nothing else. I mean, what am I going to make music about? I'm in Chicago. All I see is killing. All I see is that. But then you have artists like Common who are from Chicago, gritty parts of Chicago. And they found a way to make beautiful, uplifting music. And it's because I like to think that they were surrounded by people that wanted that for them as well.
That's the roads that grew from concrete. People like Common and Tup. Yeah, that's that. To come out of the situation, to be out there, it's chaos all around them, but they're able to be that rose that come out the concrete, you know.
Yep.
Nah, that's facts. Man, we getting into it, but born in Philly but raised in the DMV. Like, take us back, like from your perspective, you know, how was it growing up in Maryland?
Growing up in Maryland, it was always hard to call a place it was hard to call Maryland my home. As far back as I can remember, my mom always had us moving because, you know, when you're on Section 8 housing, and your mom is trying to figure out a way, she moved us from Philly so that we didn't go through a lot of the stuff that we could have. You know, the inner city's crazy, especially in West Philly, North Philly, places like that. And what I really appreciate about my mom is that she, when you know, that Section 8 housing, you know, you got landlords that just give you the most shittiest spots to live, and
Right.
there was always something wrong with the plumbing, something wrong with the heating. We spent lots of winters having to cut the, you know, keep the, you know about that, bro, keeping the oven open and everything, and just to warm up the house, taking showers before school, and the whole house is freezing cold. So as soon as you cut the hot water on, by, you know, thank God there was hot water. And as soon as you cut it on, it hurts your body because you've been so cold all day. Um, and that's not a pity party. That's not a victim mentality I have. Things happen, and it made me resilient. And my mom is resilient and comes from resilience. So
that sounds like, I don't want to cut you out, brother. But like when you say that, like you could have used all that energy and been out here and been the same, like, you know, but you transformed that into what you really wanted your perspective to be. Not like, because you know, most rappers got to come out, you know, well, I ain't gonna say most, but how the narrative looks, they got to come out with the sad story. I never had this, went without this, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
They can't channel it another way to where it's like, because you got people listening. So when these kids listening, they're thinking like, oh, I gotta them the conditions, I gotta come up in or something to be this rapper, be popular like this, like teach a lesson or something, turn it into something, you know, fuel the energy a different way than just like, you know, drugs, boom, boom. Like, okay, we already get that. We already know what go on in these environments and stuff. But when it's being like, I guess, held on a higher pedestal, you know, like when it's held on a higher pedestal where it's being glorified in a way from a major artist, you know, that's why I feel like the responsibility from an artist, you know.
Bro, it's kind of interesting to me how you hit points that I speak on every day on my podcast. If anyone listening, if you want to see more, check out what I do. The T Witz YouTube channel. That's at TDOTWYTZ, and there you can find the At My Witz podcast, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. I'd like to actually have you on, my guy, at some point. But I, uh, I think that one thing that we have to really start recognizing in this music industry is, like you said, I mean, you were just talking about perpetuating more stereotypes. We are magicians, we are sorcerers, we are incantation spitters, bro. The truth is, you ready for this one, bro? I got a song called Kings and Priests. Let's keep it. Let's get deep with it. We are gifted to be kings or priests on this planet. Depending on where you come from, you might call it a monarch, you might call it a czar. There's a lot of things you can call it, but you're either going to be a leader or a teacher, a king or a priest, and both bear crowns that are heavy, or they should. If your crown is light and you can just sit up all day eating and drinking and just enjoying and basking, you're not a real leader or a teacher, because a teacher got to be focused to teach, and a leader got to be focused to lead, and willing to follow in order to lead as well. That's why you hire a king has advisors. A smart king puts advisors by him. And I say this to say this because in music, I don't think people are recognizing that they're teachers, that they're scribes. Scribes were the ancient ones chosen in the kingdom to record the history, because the history writers were extremely valued. Teachers were very, very valued in ancient Egypt and ancient Rome. I mean, I majored in art history. You know, shout out Montgomery College, Rockville. I absolutely loved learning about the importance of the hierarchy of power. And when you're a king and a priest in this game, you're either what? A label owner, a manager, a tour runner, a tour manager, a venue show promoter. I don't know. Those are the leaders. We are the teachers. You can be a leader as a teacher, but we're scribes. I'm a scribe, my brother. I create music, and then I document things for people to listen to. And people are gonna listen to this when we're long gone, my guy.
Man, bro, you get into it. I've said this like the last two episodes. I'm like, when you're creative, you're documenting, like you basically creating our own time capsule. Just basically like in the era we in now, like back in the 1989, 1900s, you only had the black photo. They was grainy, they was blurry. We're in the era now of digital where you can hear the voice, you got videos, you got all type of stuff to leave behind. So it's like, I feel as a creative, that's an upper hand. And like, you know, we're not the average individual by the way we think, create, and how we look at life. So it's like,
Yes.
we're like basically like kind of like, you know, we want to say the chosen ones to basically leave stuff behind, like to let people know what's going on and what was going on in this time period, or like what was what, you know.
Yep. And just think, like, we're not just talking about music. We're not just talking about being a songwriter. We're talking about art. When you're an artist, you are able to recreate life through your art. You can take a pile of garbage and make it look like a human being. You can take a song and create it so that people can hear it over and over again and learn to value and appreciate each other, or want
Yeah.
to kill everybody on the block.
Yeah. That's Tupac right there. What you said with like the learn and appreciate each other, and you know, like it's
Yes.
time periods. If you wanna, that's why like now the club that I've came from in the era, like kids now in this generation would think this is the best music ever. If they don't have any type of teaching to what was before, they're gonna think that okay, NBA Youngboy is the best rapper alive, or boom, boom, boom. But it's like, because I know better, I kind of go back to a time period. It was like, well, I want to feel a certain type of way. Like I'm gonna put some 90s R&B on, or something, like to feel that, you know, just to. I'm not, of course, we're not in the 90s no more, but I'm gonna feel that energy. Like versus, you don't really get too much of R&B like that really right now. It's just music's just transition.
Do you remember when you used to hear a song, bro? And I don't care if this ages me or not. I don't care.
Yeah.
But remember when you used to hear a song and you would be like, "Yo, that's my part. I gotta go back to that. That's my part." Like, I don't know, but I just listen to a song and I just listen to it these days. I get through the song, then I
Yeah.
get through the
Yeah.
next one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not to take away from the music today. It's just an example of, I mean, we've had a reality shift. The reality of today is digital. What is digital? Digital is faster. It's cleaner.
Yeah.
It's more complex, yet still making things more simple as far as time. It saves us time. But with saving time, you skip processes. Processes that can teach you things that are valuable.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why.
Social, definitely social, bro. It's killed a lot of social things from hand to hand or in face, and because you got social media or a platform, it's a red and blue pill though. Because if you using it for advantage or using something to gain, but if you just using it and not utilizing what you can, I guess, grow from, like progress your growth. But I like, because it's like people don't, the interaction is different now socially.
How many people are on social media advertising themselves, but they're not selling a product? How many people are advertising themselves, but they're not even looking for love? How many people are advertising themselves, but they're not even looking for sex? People are just feeding the AI machine and putting
Yeah.
content out there because it's just the thing to do. And we've grown so accustomed to it that we sacrifice real relationships and real moments. I know I have.
Yeah,
I know I did.
yeah, real, yeah, yeah,
Just to document the moment that we are missing out on. So, um, even with music, how many people are creating music just for the sake of doing it because they want to get famous? They want to. They just they can they like Post Malone a lot, and Post Malone can bend auto tune to as well, and I'm gonna do that too, and maybe I can get famous. And okay, let's say you did it. Let's say you blew up. Let's say you're famous now. Now what?
right. You got the
And that's
fame. Yeah, what's next? Yeah,
and that's why it's not a coincidence that a lot of artists go one of two ways once they achieve fame. They either they drug binge, they fall into this crazy lifestyle, or they start to look for a higher power. They start to seek more importance, more meaning in life. And that's because at the end of the day, that's what life is all about: meaning, growth, and planting other seeds for other people to eat one day, or just being about chaos. And I'll be real with you, I'm not against either, because the universe is always going to flow and both are going to exist.
yeah,
what, but at least be about what it is that just don't dance in the middle.
Yeah. You either going this way or that way. You can't just be like, I'm gonna step over this side, I'm gonna step back over here, step back over here. Now I'm in the middle doing both.
You know, and it's not even and it's not even about, you know, being a preacher or being a demon or anything like that. It's just
Nah,
a lot of people are creating music and they'll get on the podium and say, I want to thank God and I want to thank this and I want to thank that. When the truth is, they shitted on everyone they could to get to where they are, and they've
yeah.
made nothing but enemies and nobody likes them. And now it where you are, was it worth getting there to not to lose yourself?
So you feel
You
like they
know.
basically at that point they just living off a script. They scripted.
Wow,
Yeah.
very well said. It's scripted because there's no authenticity to anything you're doing. You
Yeah.
just want to be above everybody. You want to be the best. You want to just tell your peers that you made it. You made it, bro. That's great. I'm over here with with the crew. We still vibing. We creating, making music. We having a great
Mhm.
time. I saw you. I saw you're on Billboard still, and you won that Grammy. But like, who's in your mansion with you right now? Your
Bunch of
production team.
scripted people.
I
That's
bet you. I bet you.
crazy,
Everyone there's getting paid. Everyone's getting paid to sit in there with you. You know,
man.
it's balance, bro. I don't mean to rant. It's just it becomes about balance.
Nah,
My teacher used to write the word balance on the chalkboard every
you
day.
need duality, man. You need duality. You just can't like too much of one thing. Like you gotta have that, and that's what they say. I think with music, they say music is missing right now. You know, for the most part, and the mainstream is like the balance. You know, you had songs back in the day. Yeah, you had Spice One. You had all that type of stuff back in the day, but you had songs to balance it out. Like you had Too
Yeah.
Short going, but you had the music that balanced it out. Now it's just
Wow.
one way.
It's such a formula.
Like
It's
you
such
say,
a formula.
calming back. Then you had balance. Like you had the Black Eyed Peas.
Wow.
You had all that, the balance. Erica Badu,
Wow.
even with the women, Trina was out, Foxy Brown was out, but you still had Lauren Hill. You had all that to balance it.
But you know what, bro? I'm not one of those people that are pessimistic. I know for a fact, as a hip hop artist myself, there is tons of creative, uplifting, inspiring,
Yeah,
even emo music out there. The question is, are you looking for it?
yeah.
Or are you just allowing the AI algorithm to keep feeding you what it thinks you want to hear?
Mm.
You have a choice. When we gave up our ownership of our CDs and of buying actual albums to just stream all day, we allowed the algorithm to feed
That
us what we think we want.
that's
So
facts, bro. That's crazy.
it's so in my opinion, I think the next wave, bro, these industry these they shipped in AI for a reason. They have got to figure out a way to get a chokehold on the game because all of us independent artists, we're making music and we're dropping it and people are finding us. And we're
Mhm.
not even worried about a distro kid or a freaking any of these distribution companies. People are creating their own distribution companies. They're shaking hands with Sony. They're shaking hands with Apple Music. They're shaking hands with YouTube Music. They're shaking hands with Spotify creators. They're learning about the algorithms. Man, give it 5 to 10 years, bro. Forget me. These new artists are gonna have something real to bring to the game, and I stand firmly behind it. People are sick and tired of the pendulum swinging to this
Mhm.
destructive ass music,
Facts.
and God bless everybody who makes it, man. You know.
Facts, man. They're like, man, we gonna dive into that too though, because I feel like I wrote that down. But can you share some of your earliest like memories related to music, like even from your childhood, like what just sparked the interest with music?
I would say it started with poetry first.
Okay.
Um, I was. It's kind of cheesy, but it is what it is. I'm since I was young, I've always been into girls. Like I've just like always had this thing with just recognizing how beautiful women were to me. Got older and had to learn that they're not all butterflies and roses.
Mm-hmm.
But being younger, I was really into love stories, and I was into more so being able to court women, to understand how women worked. Just never being the guy who didn't know how to approach a woman I wanted and get her because I wanted her.
Mm-hmm.
So I was into stuff like Romeo and Juliet because at the beginning of the story, Romeo is pressed over this woman who decides to be a nun, and her name is Rosalind. And he's writing poetry about her, and he's missing her, and he's being a simp, an utter in complete sin.
Yeah.
And then you realize he's not really in love. He was just being lustful. He just wanted to have sex. Because as soon as he sees Juliet, he forgets about Rosalind. People don't know this. People think that Romeo just saw Juliet. No, he was
Yeah.
pressed over another chick, and she wouldn't give him what he wanted. So he meets Juliet, and he kind of, just low key groomed her, just a little bit, just low key. He's like, oh, this young fly thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm just meeting her for the first time, you know what I mean? I know, I know our families aren't supposed to, connect. Well, he didn't know that right away, but anyway, I digress. They link up, and there's a theory of the story of Romeo and Juliet. Some say that it's a love story. Some say that it's a story depicting young, dumb lust. And they were so lustful for each other because Juliet had never had sex. She was a virgin. She was so cooped up. She just wanted a man. She wanted something to call her own. Romeo just wanted to forget about Rosalind. They fall in love. They have sex. The parents refuse for them to be together. They kill each other. You know the story. Everyone knows the story. They do what they did by accident, killing each other pretty much in order to uphold their love. A lot of people think that the story was about lust. Some think it was about, love. I love the duality of it. I love being able to look at that and say, which one was it? Can we discuss it? Let's break it down. What's the language of the story? Fell in love with it. Fell in love with all of that. Started writing. Wasn't very good. And gave it a rest for a while. I used to draw animals, pictures that I saw, nature, whatever. And then eventually I fell into music because I really, really started to like R&B and pop, Michael Jackson, Usher, all of that. And then my mom would play DMX, Eminem, Tupac. She would play that. She got me into that. And I was just like, I didn't know that I liked rap, but I learned that I really loved prolific rap artists.
Yeah. When you say
it
it like that, yeah.
You had to be
Mom's a
prolific.
real one because that's a prolific line. That's a lineup, man. That's a lineup. Yeah, that's a lineup.
People will say, my top 5 is Eminem and Tupac and Biggie and everything. I literally just fell in love with who my mom was listening to. And she would drive us to school. My stepfather, Eric, would drive us to school playing these same CDs over and over. DMX, I fell so in love with it that eventually me and my little brother Terrence, God rest his soul, he passed in 2013. We started rapping together for years. We used to spit freestyles in front of my sister's friends, and they'd be just like, "Oh my gosh," And then we learned how to reverse engineer this mechanism on my recording. I mean, on my boombox that my grandma bought me for Christmas, or maybe it's for my birthday. Either way, we manipulated it and we were able to record tracks, and that's how I started.
Oh yeah, you talking about like because I think I was able to do that. I was either record music off the radio, or like you say when you just clear the whole thing, clear the whole cassette tape. Yeah, you took it back.
that was it, and I held on to those tapes. We moved up to just using that free software Audacity that you can get offline.
Yo, you took it back.
Record and go.
You took it back. That's Audacity, bro. That was the first one too I came across. I didn't know anything about nothing. I just knew to just record. I didn't know to let nothing just go. But that I just felt like that was just me getting in the gym, just learning learning my art, learning how to, that was it for me, learning. That's how I felt like those stages.
And just think, someone created that software, and it's free, bro. Like we were able to start feeling and being real recording artists because someone did that off the strength, bro.
Early 2000s too. That was like one of the ones.
Yep. So stuff like that has allowed me to give grace to the universe and to say everything we want is here. We just got to find it. We got to seek it. We got to know that we need it. I don't mean to be all overly deep and stuff. My music ain't all about, hieroglyphs and introspectiveness. Introspection. It's more so about actually trying to simplify the complicated things. That's why I make music, because I can overanalyze stuff and then realize, you know what? It didn't need to be analyzed. I just needed to recognize it's not for me to understand. But it works. So if it works, I don't necessarily need to understand it. Now, at the same time, there are a lot of things that are very necessary to understand in this music industry, in this world that we live in, as members of society. Never stop learning, but at the same time, don't let what you learn hinder you from learning more, if that makes any sense.
Nah, facts. Nah, for real. Like, don't let it come in the way. Like, I get that. Like, don't let it hold you back.
Because the people will learn and gain things that will dishearten them, that will make them not want to pursue. They'll see that a lot of artists are like, yo, don't sign a record deal, or don't get in this game because, all they're going to do is try to use you and have sex with you and da-da-da-da-da. And it's up to you to say to myself, I'm going to go in this with integrity. If anyone ever presents something I don't like, I'm walking away from it. I'm going to surround myself with good, strong-minded people who can balance budgets. And, like, it doesn't have to be the same narrative. We can change it. It starts with each individual.
I feel like, the people that do end up in the scenarios that come around with those type of stories is like they wasn't strong enough to say no. So now they got stories that go from, you got artists maybe say from 2000, say to 2010, they got a story for everything. It's like, why you didn't just say no? Why you didn't just, but a lot of, like I say, the money is the controlling factor for a lot of people. And then they end up on the other end, like you say, either bad deals or something. And then now they stuck where they really don't have worth what they thought, it's just they too far deep into it.
Well, I mean, this, especially in hip hop, unfortunately, it gets a little predatory. It's about looking for the next youngest thing that'll influence the next youngest thing. And how do we attract the next youngest thing? We promise them shit. We give them shiny objects that they're going to appreciate because they don't know the value of money. You can give them money, but they just gonna spend it. So let's give them $100,000 advance to put him in debt with us. He got to pay back the interest. He got to pay back the studio time that he don't even know that we're charging him for yet. Let's give them a car or two. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in our name. We're gonna own them, but let them drive them, bro. You do all these things, and it's the formula to get an artist on your side who doesn't know any better. And
so
then
you feel like they targeting. So for instance, you think they target ignorance on purpose? Like they can look at it, say they come across a hot viral video on YouTube, and they like, okay, that's the next one right there. Like he don't look like he's knowledgeable. He don't look like he may know anything about, just based off how they present themselves, And it's like, okay.
I'll take it a step further than that. I personally believe that they push artists to become caricatures of their more intelligent and superior selves. You ever seen Kodak Black before he signed?
Oh yeah. It looked like he kind of glitching a little bit now because he released something lately. I think he's on Adam Jumper 22, and I seen him preview a record, and I was like, oh, he must getting tired of something because it looked like he sound like his older self now on this record. But I think he was saying they don't want to push it or something like that.
And that's okay if they don't want to push it. We are watching the pendulum swing, bro. And I'm fascinated because my whole life I was like, why am I not finding the situation that's gonna help me make it? I had to find out what making it means. Well, what was that to me? Was that getting an advance of a record deal? I mean, getting an advance in a record deal and then having to go on tours that I don't want to do to pay back money that I owe?
Yeah.
Is it me being able to record music from my studio that I own, drop music when I want through the internet, go tour when I want, and my fans got to come to me to see me? If I only perform at 3 places, all my fans got to make it to those places. And if they can't, and I learned that my fan base is bigger, then I can now expand onto where I perform. But that's my choice. And like I said, I'm not knocking a record deal. I'm not knocking these labels. Artists know your business. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, nah, that's facts. Like especially like when you're in more control of like when you can drop and all that, because you hear everything. A lot of artists they come out with exposing what's going on, what happened to them. They either got shelved or all type of stuff going on. But like you say, the biggest thing I look at too is like it's like somebody lending you some money. It's on a different level. It's like if a person can't, if a person borrowed $20 from you, they don't have the $20. Well, like you know they ain't gonna give it back to you. Man, you got a record label giving away millions or whatever advance or something like that, and they know like okay, they either gonna get their money back or they know like they got them locked in. Like,
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I said, loan company. You are better off as an artist. Let me not say better off. It's up to you, but you could go as an artist and create your EIN, create an LLC, actually have a mission behind what you're doing. You might have good credit. Hopefully, you got good credit. You can go get a loan to start investing in your music business. That's what a label is doing. The difference, and this is why building a community and keeping a good reputation is important. All the label did was probably before you was born, they was building connections and building. That's what they were doing. And they built such great connections that they said, hey, let's keep these connections close knit. People can't just have them. You got to earn it. But some of them was weirdos, and it was like, I mean, I got to get my joint sucked in order for somebody to get a deal from me, or you know what I'm saying, you got to be giving up the beat, you know what I mean? But then some of them said, nah, I believe in investing. If I see someone who's talented and they got a good attitude, I'll work with them. But then you know what also happens, unfortunately? That same artist that they trusted and invested in might turn on them for the motherfucker who wants his joint sucked. See that? See how that works? You see how we can come full circle? It's about what are you looking for in this? Be practical about it. Go about things the right way.
Yeah, you don't have to come out with a surviving story later on, you know, like literally.
You know, because it's almost a trend now. It's like if you don't have a surviving story, were you ever really in the industry at this point?
Right.
At this point, like
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
You got people coming out from way back then. They on TV One on the series talking about, yeah, you know, this what happened and boom, boom, boom. You know, and you got to think like they was in the era before social media, so a lot of stuff that happened just man.
We're never going to be able to get it. It's sad. Like it's sad how many people were in pain and went through stuff. But you know what else is sad? It's also sad that people became enablers for the predatory behavior. People offered themselves. People said, I really, really need to make it. You know, I'll suck your dick, I'll do this, I'll do that. And it's like, let's hold those people accountable too. Let's not act like people didn't want opportunities from.
They started making that be the thing to do, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can look at it from every angle, bro. And because of that, I do my best not to demonize. Don't get it wrong. We demonize where it's due. We don't just judge by court of public opinion, but we also recognize what's wrong is wrong. But what's practical is what's practical. So let's be practical and make things happen for real out here. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. Let's plant seeds.
Nah, facts, man. Seeds are being planted, man. A lot of growth. Definitely.
Sure.
They're being watered on this episode, man. But back in the early 2000s, you would start your journey. Like, what was your first experience creating music? How did it feel to hear your own music for the first time?
It's something that I still don't get used to, only because the sound is forever evolving and changing. When I first started recording music, I was blown away by the fact that my voice could be evolved, that it could be changed based on who has experience dealing with my music. It fascinated me. It's why I started recording and mixing. And being the artist that I am, at the age that I'm at, I have enough experience, I believe, to give so much back through my music. Fame is never what I've been chasing. Maybe at some point I was, but it's been so long doing this for the right reasons that I could care less about fame. And I know that unfamous people say that, but the truth is, I like my privacy. I like being discreet when I move in and out of a town. I like being able to perform when I want, where I want, and make money from it. And I'm going to keep building. And if I can fill up a stadium someday, that's going to be fantastic. But if I don't, I'll know that I have tried with the best that I had. And that's okay for me. So listening to my music to this day, I'm just like, damn, I did that. Whoa, hold up. When did I say that? When did I record that? That's crazy. Yo, this is really going to touch somebody someday. That's crazy. I'm cool with that. I just love that I'm still able to impress myself, that I'm able to outdo myself still lyrically. You know, as far as influencing people around me, influencing people across the world who listen to my music, man. It's cool. It's something I'm never gonna get used to for real.
Facts. We got Wendy Sift off Instagram. She said, "Is there anyone who you had to leave behind or cut off because they didn't believe in you and could have held you back?"
That's been that's probably the hardest thing that's bro. I appreciate you. What is it, Wendy City?
Yeah, Wendy Sift. Yeah, Wendy
Thank you so
Sift.
much thank you, Wendy Sif. Thanks for even asking the question. The truth is, I'm glad you asked that because that's something I'm glad we're able to touch. You will lose people that you love. You will lose people that you thought would really do this with you, trying to accomplish this. And it's because if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in the power of creating purpose, there's a lot of people who just are meant to be the watchers. They're meant to be the ones who see it but will never be able to touch it, will never be able to go with you because that's not their path.
I feel
And
that.
it's one of the darkest times of my life that I went through because I had to go to Las Vegas, leave my family, my closest friends, the woman that I loved, her child who I loved, our child who I loved, pretty much. And I had to recreate myself because everything I was learning was destroying me. I was taught that black people can't succeed in America. I was taught that Donald Trump is the demon who's going to destroy the country and everyone's going to become Nazis. I was taught that voting for Barack Obama was going to change the world and every black person was going to be good and financially straight. I was
Right.
taught all these things that just didn't come to fruition. It was like this didn't happen. You know what did happen? Some random white dude saw me working my job and he walked up to me and had a conversation with me and he asked me, why are you here? Why are you working at this job? And I said, I'm just trying to get by, bro. I'm just trying to make money so I move on to something else. And he said, you deserve more than this. Can I help you get somewhere else? If I help you, will you leave this place? He said, will you take help from, a dweeby white dude? And I laughed because I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you helping me? And he
Right.
said, I feel it's the right thing to do. He launched me on my path to being able to be a serious professional musician. He, to this day, I can message for advice, for an understanding of myself because we're very similar. We like helping people. It doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter your background. Do you want to do something for this world? Do you want to so bad, but you just don't have the right things around you? Come with me. And
Hey, yo, I
that,
believe I don't want to cut y'all, but that I believe in
please,
stuff so much to where it's like you never know. Time and placing is everything. It's like you could have been anywhere else at that time or moment, and this guy just happened to just walk up to you. You know what I mean? Like
you know,
I said,
you
the
know,
higher
you know
power.
where I would have been? You know where I would have been though? I would have still been around people that I should have left because they didn't believe in me. They didn't believe in themselves. So you have to, Wendy said, you got to leave those people and you have to do it with grace. Don't be mad at them for it. Don't don't hate them for it. Don't hate them because you can't take them with you. Just pray that they learn from your sacrifices. That's all you can do. And love them still.
Nah,
Yeah.
that was a real experience though. Like you say, to have somebody that wait, y'all you guys work together or just passing by, or how that situation come about?
No, he was twice my age, three times my
Yeah,
age. And he worked a software company,
yeah,
coding. He was just very different walks of life, and
yeah,
it has taught me. It's taught me like not to get all, but I believe in God. It taught me
yeah.
that God has a plan for all of
Nah,
us, and
facts. That's what I look at it like that. Cause like I say, you can be anywhere, different time, place, standpoint. You can literally leave your house right now, bro, walk in the gas station and meet somebody that brings something meaningful to your life, Or it can be locked
it
in, bro, not even knowing them for mechanic paint or anything. It's just life just work
it
like
can,
that, man.
and the key is to be open to it. That
Yeah.
the key is like that's why the drugs and the chasing women and the distraction, I can admit that it has hurt me in the past because when you aren't open to see what it is God's trying to do for you, you're of course you're going to complain that there's nothing happening for you. Of course you're just going to keep falling back into the same tropes because you're not giving yourself time to see. When you wake up in the morning, your vision's still blurry. You got to wipe the crust out your eyes. You got to walk a little bit. You got to get conscious again. When there's a fog, you can't see. And I'm so grateful that I was able to start to see. I didn't jump right away. I let him get me that job, but he tried to put me through production school. I gave up the last week before I got my certification. I was a sucker. I was weak. I didn't have the strength of mind because I didn't have strong leaders in my life. I love my mama, but she had too many of us to worry about. There was 10 of us to worry about. And I'm not a selfish guy. So I was like, let mom do her thing. I don't want her worrying about me. And I just went off and tried to learn. And I'm so grateful because I became that guy who went looking for gold and forgot about the gold because I learned the value of the journey.
Man, that's big. Like you say, learning the value of the journey, man. That's a lot right there.
It gets me a little emotional because I lost my little brother, trying to show him something that he wasn't ready to see. And I don't talk to my family to this day because I gave them grace and took some time away from them because they were disappointing me. And now I recognize that I was disappointing myself and what I was showing them. So now I pray that the day that I do see them, that they do hopefully hear and see this, sit through this, that they'll be able to say, okay, now I understand what he was trying to do.
Nah, fast, brother.
Yeah. Love you, Terrence. God rest your soul, man.
Yeah, sorry for the loss of your brother, man. I know that's heavy. Like just taking losses in general, bro, it molds you in a different type of way. And it's like when you live in life, it's like it's gonna beat me up because it's like an open wound that never heals. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm taking care of this wound. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, all right, I'm thinking about my love lost one or whatever. What would they want me to, in this conversation with myself, like even like, me losing my dad, like, bro, that was a big like transition in my life. So it's like, all right. I'm like, all right, I got to think about like the conversation you had with me. I got to use everything that, all this stuff that, over time and just use that to like push forward, bro, in a way. Even though it's like it eat me up, I have my moments or whatever and stuff like that, bro. But it's just like, all right, I'm still going on my journey, still on my path in a way. But it's like, all right, anything I come to do or something like that, it's just like I got to think of it as a trophy to myself, to like as if my dad's still here. It's just like, all right, it's still going. I still represent him. I'm a product of him. Like I gotta hold myself up for him. Be strong because he went out strong, bro. Like. So it's like, it wasn't no pit. Yeah, that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, I know I stand for something great and something powerful, bro. You know what I mean? It's just like, I feel it and I know it inside, but it's just like, all right, boom, when the world see this, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's going to be big.
I mean, dude. Look at what you're doing, man. I'm sure your father's proud of you. You built something that allows other people to keep building things. You are literally soil. You are soil. You
Right.
are foundation for other people to keep building off of, and that's something you made for yourself. So be very proud, man. Shout out to you, dog. Thank you for having me here, man. Seriously.
Nah, fast, bro. Appreciate it. So looking back on your discography, like which projects or song would you say you most proud of and why from your catalog?
Uh, as of recently, I've decided to stop uploading music until I'm finished with this deal. This deal is going to allow me to distribute directly through an entity, and it's going to change everything for me. And I would say that I'm most proud of all the music that I dropped at the beginning because I've mixed and mastered my own music for years. And I look back on the mixes and sometimes I cringe. Sometimes I get a little frustrated. Like, should I just take this down because this is not mixed the way I want it to be?
Right.
But the truth is, it was good enough to get me where I am now. And when I go back and listen to it, I am extremely proud of myself. I am so grateful that I talked about things that matter to me. And now I not only have friends and family, but people that I meet every day who hear that I'm a musician, go check it out, and they get to learn about the journey from the beginning. I didn't wait to start. I didn't wait until I was the mega ultra mix and master. I just started dropping music. And to anyone listening to this, just get started. Just put it out there because someone's gonna hear it, and it's not gonna matter that the EQ is not lower. It's not gonna matter that the plugins weren't set right. It's not gonna matter about the frequency of the microphone. They're just gonna say, "Yo, who is that?" I can relate to that. So guys, put your music out there, put your art out there, and look for good people to help you along the way. So I'm proud of all the music at the beginning, man, for sure.
Nah, definitely. And it's always when that artist first drop. I'm not saying when the deal come behind them. It's like if you get hip to them and be like, I say 50 Cent, for instance, when 50 came out and I heard his mixtapes before he like really blew, like with DJ Who Kid and all them, it's like, man, this guy was going crazy. Like, it's just the earlier projects I feel where the artists be the most hungry, I guess, from the mainstream. I'm trying to think of an artist, maybe Young Dolph. I put Young Dolph out there. He's been consistent from like the mixtapes to when his situation happened. It's just like Dolph been Dolph the whole time. Like, I didn't feel like he just let up off the gas pedal. I felt like he just kept evolving his artistry and just kept transitioning. But I feel like most of the time though, I'd be a big fan of like when the artists first break out. Like I'd be feeling like that'd be their hardest projects. Like especially like when CDs came out, like the value and the worth of CDs back then, bro. Like to go to the Best Buy, go in the mall, and you get to preview like the CDs, and like it was just a different feeling. Like I feel like music was way more appreciated because, like I say, the fact of you had to get out, go. Everybody line up when the CDs drop and it was just different.
And as if you didn't pre-order yours, like it was a whole different world. You used to get in trouble for trying to steal CDs and the Kmart and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
like, people wanted the music that bad. I remember, trying to shoplift a CD or two because I didn't know what a job was yet. I knew what music was and I knew I wanted it, and there was no other way to get it. That's the feeling that music used to give us. Now we can literally just be like, I'll wait till it comes out on YouTube.
And then it's like parental advisory really don't even exist no more for real. Because I remember Walmart, bro, used to make the edited versions, bro. I didn't know. I was a kid, bro. I bought 50 bag. I bought Bag for Mercy or something, the G Unit album. I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't know. And I'm like, bro, the album costs the same money too. I'm like, it's no difference. It's explicit or not. It was just like, man. But I was like, yeah, I remember them days, bro. Are there any specific tracks that hold a special meaning to you or tell an important story about your journey as an artist?
I would say there's a particular album that was a game changer for me when I dropped it. And that was my album Rapper Man. Rapper Man is actually not my first album. I had dropped 2 albums, maybe 3 before Rapper Man, and I took them down off streaming platforms. I did not like the mixes. I did not like a lot of things about my rushing of my process. And the Rapper Man was me finally being confident in being T Witz. It had been trial and error of working with different teams and people who made promises and whatnot. I finally embraced that T Witz is a one-man army, or at least he used to be. And I started just trusting myself, putting my music out there and being consistent with it. And I never stopped after dropping Rapper Man. So for anyone who hasn't heard it, I dropped that album in 2018. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, all of that. And I had a great guy draw the artwork for it. He's gotten really good since then, so it's a little amateur if you look at it now, but it's timeless. And after that, I dropped my album Grape Juice. And Grape Juice, I think, is an even doper project than Rapper Man. But Rapper Man is the one that finally stamped that I was the artist that was set to be the artist I am now. It was no more hesitance, no more being afraid, and that's what I'm very proud of. So check out Rapper Man, out for streaming by T Witz.
Facts, man. So like when we speaking of messages and everything like that, like what do you try to convey to listeners like when they, experience and listening to T Witz?
When you hear T Witz, you're gonna hear a lot of pain, but you're gonna hear that pain turned into progress. Um, that was my big thing. My mom used to see me really upset about the women I dealt with, the jobs I lost, the things that I thought I would have forever that I couldn't. And she told me to stop crying about it and turn that pain into something powerful. So that's what you get when you hear music from T Witz. You feel empowered because you know that no matter how much pain comes your way, you can take it and you can turn it into something that allows you to teach others to be able to take and deal with the pain as well. So when you listen to my music, you know that you're gonna be that you're listening to a fighter and you can potentially become a fighter. Or if you already are a fighter, you're just gonna learn how to fight even longer and even harder and even stronger.
The fact.
So
I feel like, like you said, if you already a fighter, it's just like you're gonna learn more techniques. For
listen,
real.
more techniques.
Straight on.
More techniques. Yup. You
Right.
training with Apollo. If you Rocky, you about to train with Apollo when you listen to T Witz. Straight up.
Right. Real. So like, can you share some insights into your songwriting process and how it's evolved over the years? Like how you approach your creative process.
I used to only freestyle, and personally, I thought I sucked. But something in me, I don't know, from the influences of who I listen to, from the experiences in my life, I just started being able to just spit out things that I really wanted to say. Because that's what it is. When you're freestyling, the hardest part isn't finding words, it's putting together words that say something. Because when you're freestyling, it's truly freestyling, it's offhand. So you can't, there is no time to script anything. What comes to mind, you have to transform into something that means something to someone else or to you. And that started to come natural to me. And we would have little moments where we would just freestyle in ciphers and smoke a little weed and
Yeah.
sip a little bit and hang out with girls. And eventually, I just started realizing, like, I remember the day that I learned to be able to say words without pre-writing them down.
Mm.
But then I recognized that I wasn't making really good songs. I was just saying things. So I said, I have to learn how to organize my thoughts because I want to really become a good song maker. I took out a journal, started writing my words down. The first song I ever wrote was about my girlfriend at the time who had graduated high school. I talked about her high school graduation and how beautiful it was. She didn't appreciate it. She left me after high school, but it's fine. It's fine. Those things
Right.
happen. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Nah, I
And
feel that.
but she was the
Uh,
first song I wrote. My love for her helped me transition from a freestyler into a songwriter. Then I had my first BlackBerry phone, and I started writing my rhymes on the
the
BlackBerry.
Blackberries, yeah. Yeah, that
Yep,
Blackberry felt like you was really the professional on there, man.
bro.
Space
Then I
bar, everything.
and then I saw someone like a Drake pop up who
Mm.
was writing rhymes in his BlackBerry, and I was like, "Holy shit, really? This is a sign or something?" Because
That's like
I
oh
didn't know
08, oh
anybody else.
09, I think. Yeah.
I'm like, no one else does this. Drake does this, okay? And then I get older, then I get myself an iPhone. I start writing I discover the notes application, and now I write all my music in my notes. You wanna tip artists out there, Wendy Sif? Write your music down in your notes in your iPhone, in your Google Notes, whatever, because they're easy to transition into an email, to copyright, to email to yourself, to digitally put into streaming platforms. When you have your music written digitally, you can now work with it. When you have it written in a notepad, it's going to be harder to transition those for monetary gain. So I'm able to just literally send my lyrics to myself and copyright them through the government. I'm able to send lyrics to my producer when he needs to write a beat around them. There's so much that can be done because I chose to take a superior way to write my music. And that process I've taught to others, and they can't believe it. You can even use your phone because it has AI capabilities now, and you can press the speech button and you can speak your rhymes into your phone if you're not the most lingual person. So there's no excuse out there, guys, to not have your lyrics ready and available and able to transition so that you can be the professionals that you know you can be.
That was free game, man. Because you said copyright lyrics. I'm like, man, that's free. That's free. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that one. I didn't
I
even
got you,
think
bro.
about that.
Because
Oh,
we live in a world where everyone's stealing each other's lyrics, and it's like no
yeah.
one cares about it anymore. But Sting cared when he sued Diddy, and you feel what I'm saying? Like we have to remember that we are walking, talking brands, and all
Yeah.
it takes is a couple words to inspire people. And if those words happen to be in your song, you should be getting paid for it. But I
Yeah.
digress.
Nah, fast. Like, yeah, like you say, it's just the times now. It's the times, man. That's crazy. So like, what are some of your most memorable performances or events you've been a part of throughout your career? Like, take us back to that one night, man.
I performed last year with one of my favorite artists of all time, Cassidy Larson, baby. I'm a Hustler was one of the first albums I ever bought as a teenager.
Yeah. Cassidy was fire. Cassidy was fire.
Split,
It's like
split
04,
personality.
03. 04, 03,
Dog.
man. Fabulous, Freeway, Cassidy, bro. It was nasty. See, that's the thing too with my appreciation with hip hop. I'm not gonna say it wasn't a time period where the up north, like I was in between both. I'm at the point where I'm just appreciating hip hop, bro. With the CDs, where I'm buying everybody, it don't matter who it is. It was I think I had an Obi Trice album, Eminem, Ludacris, Kanye. I was all over the place.
And you had your variety. You could, not that you don't now, but it was so set in stone. We knew that if you wanted that southern flow but still hit hard, you know what I'm saying, you go over to a Ludacris, you know what I'm saying. You knew that if you wanted, you know what I'm saying, lyrics for days, but at the same time you wanted some business structure and how to build a company, you go listen to Jay-Z. Like it's today.
It feels so segregated now a little bit, man, from what it was. Because like I say, you had anybody that dropped the album, it was like you getting it. Everybody was just, it wasn't just no, it was just like, hey, good music.
Yes. And now and I'm not even gonna make comparisons to then and now, but it's fascinating to be at a point now where I can reflect. It's beautiful to be able to look back on the times and to say, you know, that music got us to where we are now.
Right. Yeah. That's like what happened. Like I'm feeling that. I'm literally feeling like that though. Like what happened. I'm not gonna say it was I don't know. I don't want to say it's snap music. It went from how can I say the 90s era, then snap music, then now I went to drill music, and now it's like what, like you say, what is after? What's the genre gonna be like?
But that's okay, because you know what? Lyricism is always going to be a thing. It is not a coincidence that the biggest artists in the world will always and forever be the lyricists.
Yeah. Nah, facts. Kendrick been sitting down for a while and came back out and just.
Why did everybody get mad at Drake? Because he stopped being lyrical. And then we learned that a lot of his lyrics weren't even his. And we were like, Drake, you was lyrical. That's sacred. You feel what I'm saying? So we should stop this narrative that mumble rap took over everything. No, mumble rap was just the next wave of the subgenre of lyricism.
Yeah.
You know, it's the one that keeps everyone busy while the lyricism keeps everyone thinking and interested, because we're interested because of the lyricism. We always go back to the Kendrick, the Drakes, the Coles, the Jay-Z's, the Eminems, the Waynes. We always will, because they give us the documentation. They tell us what was going on at that time. When I go listen to Skibbity Jibbity, he's gonna be, and I'll just be like, wait, but who was president? Wait, what year was it? Wait a minute, wait, like something. Give me some knowledge, and that's why these guys are scribes. It goes back to my point. We're scribes. People want the history, the teaching. I don't care if Eminem's talking about, you know, chopping up his girl and putting her in a car.
Yeah.
He's telling you about mental health and how he was disturbed.
That man wrote that song. What is it, Stan? That was a whole. That was like him in what third, like something like that. Like
you know what that story was about. You know why that story was powerful? Because That was Selena's story. Selena's manager was Stan. You feel me? Like there's been a lot of stands of people who just couldn't stand the person, couldn't stand the person that they were supposed to be rooting for and supporting. Envy, jealousy. That's why the story of that Eminem Stan is important. You gotta see through the vulgarness. You gotta see through the art, and you gotta get to the meat and bones, if you want, or just take it for what it is. But that's the beauty of art being subjective, you know.
Hey. Man, I'm thinking too, like when you speak of those, you know, the artists from back then, we gotta remember, like they was dropping 3 verses, 4-minute songs, 5-minute songs. To now everything's so condensed now, like you say, like how information is. It don't take that long to do research no more. It's fast. Everything's fast. Like microwave
I'm
time.
telling you. I mean, it's fascinating that everyone says that, you know, it's just an example that Drake's music changed so much. He is a businessman. He caters to what's new and what's going on. He dumbed himself down.
Yeah.
And people hate him for it because he's supposed to be an innovator, an example of continuing with creating the history, writing the history of what's going on right now. And that's okay because there are always going to be artists that tell that speak of the current events, that talk about things that people can learn from. And I'm not saying Drake doesn't do that, but we're never going to see that major artist who touches people again unless this is carried on. You know, unless people want it to carry on. 2-minute songs are cool. They're great.
Yeah,
but
I ain't gonna lie. I think that's enough for me right now with the art. Like I don't think I could see a third of. They got to be really like an artist for me. Just the way I listen to music, just the way I consume it. You know, because like I say, the kids now in the generation, whatever, they might think that that's the best thing ever. They can get a 3-verse song from YoungBoy or whatever, with each his own. But I'm just like, I think that's the thing that bothers me. This is like, when you know better, you do better. It's like I can't force myself to learn something different and be like, that's that. Like it always been like that. I'm like, nah, it ain't always been like that. Like, like it's just when you know. But if I don't know, I was like, I can't really point the finger.
Very well said. That you said that very well because there are a lot of things that people don't know they don't know.
Yeah.
And people that do know specific things, it's up to them, it's up to us, it's up to whoever to give grace to the people that don't know yet. It's so important because nobody wants to be told they're stupid. Nobody wants to be told what they don't know. So I think that's one of the reasons that I make music, so that I can make music and people listen to it and surmise their own decision. Okay, he gave me this to listen to. It makes sense. Maybe I'll adjust my thinking. Maybe this will influence me in a way that helps me. Or maybe I'll just listen to it and party. Who knows? But plant the seeds.
Yeah.
Plant the seeds.
Yeah. Nah, facts. So like, have there been any collaborations that have been particularly meaningful or impactful in your career?
Opening for the game back when I was about 24 showed me the power of consistency. I didn't think I was actually going to get the gig. And then when I finished rapping, as I was finishing up my song, he comes on stage, rapping the lyrics to my song, helping me finish up before I got off stage, and congratulated me for a hot song. I was blown away by it. I wouldn't call that a collaboration, but I got to open for another one of my favorite artists. A collaboration that's life changing, I would say, is meeting a great guy named Jason Malachi. Jason Malachi. For anyone watching this, go look up Jason Malachi, Malachi. First name Jason, and you'll understand. My entire life, I have always loved and adored Michael Jackson. His music, his message, his style, his consistency, his journey, his struggle. And I got to meet a gentleman who worked directly with him. And not only that, but this gentleman is so damn talented and wanted me to be a part of his child's birthday, rapping on stage. He has put me in his music, and his name is Jason Malachi, and he has a song out right now. Yeah. It's called Got This Feeling. And y'all gotta check it out. Your boy T Witz is featured on the remix. But look him up and you'll understand. Look him up, guys. Life-changing collaboration right there. That's my guy. I'm working with Bobby Smokey Hall. He's the father of Maryland rapper Logic, and I mix and record his music. He works directly with my company, Tribe Trinity Entertainment. That's TRIBE TRINITY, Tribe Trinity Entertainment. And collaborations like this have helped me to recognize how real this music industry can be. How the music industry doesn't mean Satan, it just means business and know your business. Guys, you can find and work with, great people. Just be open minded and have integrity, have a good attitude, guys. Jason Malachi, Bobby Smokey Hall, um, rapping directly next to Cassidy, opening for the game, um, doing the DMV Megafest back in, I think it was 2018, 2017 with Chris Gotti. Um, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed.
Fast, brother. I ain't gonna hold you too much longer. I got 3 more for you.
I appreciate you. Let's do
just
it. Let's do it.
just looking ahead, like, what are you most excited about in your musical journey, and what you hope to achieve next?
I'm now working with some of my favorite artists of all time. They are featured on some music that I'm working with. I'm excited to be a part of the Artist Development Center. I'm excited to be working with Sync and Tune distribution and publishing. I'm excited to have partners that I can truly call brothers and know they got my back. I look to chart on Billboard, mark my words, in the next 6 to 12 months. I look to drop some fire singles that I've been recording to perfection. And I've been expanding my thinking with my music. I'm really standing for something that's universal. It's not just about the empowerment of anyone in particular. It's the empowerment of all people who want to be empowered. I'm mixing it up a little bit. I've been singing. I've always been a rapper. I've always been an innovator, but I'm having more fun with my music than ever, and I just can't wait for y'all to hear it. So check me out. Follow me on Instagram at TDOTWYTZ. It's your boy T Witz, and I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Nah, facts, man. Before we get out of here, man, any shout outs or recognition you would like to give to those who've been supporting you along the way on your journey?
Shout out to my guy William with Sync and Tune. He would be so mad at me if I gave his full name, so I'm not going to do that. Love you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to my father, Hugh Whitaker. Thank you for being an inspiration, for taking care of yourself and going into rehab, and for getting out and showing me an example that I can look up to. Shout out to my homegirl Brittany Rose for showing me some amazing love and supporting my music. Shout out to my mom, Nina Moore. I love you so much, and no matter what, I got you, and you know that. Shout out to Robbie Robinson for putting me onto an official music studio that allowed me to grow and, gain a sense of better entrepreneurship. Shout out to Trey Overton for being my spiritual father. Shout out to my sister/therapist, Tiara. I love you. Congratulations on your upcoming marriage. I got so many more, but we gonna teeter it there. Shout out to my guy Tripstar with Asterisk. He and his girl are my camera people for the My Wits End podcast. Check us out on YouTube, y'all. I appreciate it.
Nah, facts, brother. I say, man,
I got great people on my side, man.
Nah, I feel that, bro. That sounds like an amazing circle, powerful circle, man.
Thank you.
And that's what I feel like we all need.
Shout out to you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother. Like I say, man, it was an honor to be able to give you your flowers, man. Get these great gems dropped, man. It definitely was an organic episode, man. Just good energy, good vibes, bro. Like I appreciate, appreciate you taking your time out. Last but not least, before we get you out of here for real this time, what does being an underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Damn, you got good questions, bro. When you are an underdog, you are the one who's still fighting for the underdogs. You are the one who represents the underdogs. It's okay to win. It's okay to make it. But always remember that you want to keep pulling people up. You want to keep setting an example for people to follow. So the underdog isn't the loser. They're not the one who has to necessarily take the L. They're the one who is struggling to win. And I love being the underdog because it means that people see me and they know they can do it too. I'm not the guy telling everyone that I made it and, you know, F you and forget you and you never listen to me. I'm the guy that's like, guys, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for real. You want to be a part of it? So that underdog, they're setting the example, man. You know, when you are the underdog, it's about how much you can take, not just how much you can give. You know, how much can you endure? So for all my underdogs out there, you're winners. You know, you don't just win once, you keep winning. You know, so enjoy being the underdog, because you may just live long enough to become the villain.
Nah, facts. Y'all heard it here, man. Season 5, episode 24. Sound Wizard featuring MD's on rapper, singer, songwriter, and audio engineer T Witz. Appreciate it, brother. This was amazing. Look forward to more great conversations, man. Definitely appreciate you giving your time.
It's a pleasure. Please, bro. We're going to keep in touch. We're going to work, bro. Thank you so much, man.
Fast, bro. Take it easy, bro. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We out here.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth. I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened. I got stoned around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause they don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got